Hey everybody, hope you're doing great. Welcome. We're continuing our reading of The Sealed Nectar. It's been fantastic. So, let's continue. We're on page 647. The following day, he showed some unwillingness in receiving me, but his brother, Abd, interceded, and I was given the chance to see him again. But this time, he addressed me in a threatening, arrogant tone. However, after a private talk with his brother, and reconsidering the whole situation, both brothers embraced Islam and proved to be true to Islam that had begun to make its way into this new area. So they switched over. The context of the story reveals that this letter was sent at a much later date than the others, most likely after the conquest of Mecca. Through these letters, the Prophet, peace be upon him, managed to communicate his message to most of the kings at that time. Yeah, we got to see it too. I mean, the whole part of it was all these different letters. It's really fascinating when you think about it. So it was 8 letters total, right? Yeah, 8 letters total to the different kings. Some believed, while others remained abstinent and persisted in their disbelief. However, the idea of embracing Islam and the advent of a new prophet preoccupied all of them. So it's spreading, right? It's like going out. Like this is like, it's like, wow. It's like a whole new shift in human consciousness, right? Right there. Very cool. Now this section says post-Hudaybiyah hostilities. Okay. The invasion of Gaba or the Karad. It was in fact not a battle, but rather a clash carried out against a platoon of Bani Farazra. Okay, so a platoon, huh? That's not too bad. It's not too many people, but it occurred at Di Karad, a reservoir of water a day's journey from Medina. Okay, a lot of action around Medina, right? Al-Bukhari named a chapter about it in which he indicated that it occurred 3 days before the Battle of Khaybar. Battle of Khaybar. Bukhari. Muslim reported a chain of narration from Salah bin al-Aqwa saying the same. Okay, and Muslim and al-Bukhari, I remember all of you told me that they are very prominent, some of the best Muslim scholars, right? The majority of the writers on the battles of the Prophet, peace be upon him, listed before al-Hudaybiyah, but what is most correct is what al-Bukhari and Muslim mentioned. It has been narrated on the authority of Salama bin al-Aqwa, the hero of this battle. Okay, so he's the hero. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, sent one of his slaves, Rabah, with his camel to the nearby pasture. Okay, so Rabah, I can't remember his name, so I'm going to annotate it just to make sure that we have his name written down too. His camel to a nearby pasture. I, taking Talha's horse, went there for the same purpose. When the day dawned, Abdurrahman al-Fazari made a raid. Oh my goodness. Drove away all the camels and killed the man who looked after them. That probably happens so much all over the world. Dang, it's like people make fun of shepherds sometimes, but if you think about, they had to protect from wolves and just raiders. Like Genghis Khan, we've been reading about him on the Bookshelf Fellowship channel on Vimeo that I have. They also would raid, and the steppe culture of the Mongols it was like lots of going around and taking people's horses. It's quite interesting how that was a whole commonality for so much of the world. I told Rabah to ride the horse, take it to Talha, and inform Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, that the polytheist had made away with his camels. Ah, man. Then I stood upon a hill, and turning my face to Medina, shouted thrice, Come to our help! After that I set out in pursuit of the raiders, shouting at them with arrows and chanting self-eulogistic verse. I am the son of Al-Aqwa. Today is the day of defeat for the mean. Okay, so he said that kind of chant. Self-eulogistic. So he did it himself? So he would say these things as he's laying his arrows down. Like, boom, into his target. Wow. By Allah, I continued shooting at them and killing their animals. Whenever a horseman turned upon me, I would come to a tree hiding myself, sitting at its base, shoot at him and killing his horse. At last they entered a narrow mountain gap. I ascended that mountain and held them in check by throwing stones at them. Oh, that's smart! Oh my gosh! Oh, that'd be horrible. Dang. It's like you're climbing on a mountain, you have to throw rocks. Man. I continued to chase them in way until I got all the camels released, none remaining with them. They fled in all directions, and I followed, shooting at them continually until they dropped more than 30 mantles and 30 lances, lightening their burden. On everything they dropped, I put a mark with some stones that Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, and his companions might recognize them, that it was booty left by the enemy. Oh, that's clever. So, the camels are going crazy, and some things are falling. So, right? They dropped. So essentially, like, I see things coming off of the caravan, or they're like everywhere, and then putting some stones around it, like hoping they can spot it and see it intentionally set up for them as like a reservoir, of like a stash of supplies. Essentially, it's what I think it sounds like. The companions may recognize in the booze up by the enemy. They went on until they came to a narrow valley. They sat down to eat something, and I sat on top of the tapering rock. 4 of them ascended the mountain, coming towards me. When they were near enough to hear me, I shouted, "Do you recognize me?" They said no. Who are you? That is funny. I don't know why. I just like, I felt like there was gonna be like someone was gonna pull out a sword, and instead it's like, "Who are you? Who are you?" That's funny. I said, "I am Salema, son of Al-Aqwa. I can get any one of you I like, but none of you can get me." So they returned. I did not move from my place until I saw the horsemen of Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, who came riding through the trees. The foremost among them was Akram. Behind him was Abu Kata al-Ansari. That's a pretty cool name. Followed by Al-Miqdad bin al-Aswad. Akram and Abdur Rahman al-Fazari met in combat. Okay, cool. Who's gonna win? Bets. Akram killed Abdur Rahman's horse, but the latter managed to strike him with his lance and kill him. So I wonder, like, did he kill the horse to dishonor him, or like, were they both on horseback? Or was one on the ground and the other one was on horseback? Abdur Rahman turned around riding Akram's horse. Oh boy. That is so cool, man. That is really cool. Abdul Kadha, seeing this, got engaged in fierce combat with Abdur Rahman, struck him with his lance, and it was fatal. The polytheists consequently fled away, and I was in their pursuit until before sunset they reached a valley with a spring of water called the Karad. Okay, so they're heading over there to the Karad, but they're gonna be sore. They fleeing. The polytheists just getting out of there. Fierce fighting. Dang. I wonder what it looked like. They rested there to have a drink. I, however, running in hot pursuit, turned them out of the valley before they could drink a drop of water. Okay, so in hot pursuit, didn't even give him a moment to rest. He just kept on the pulse, essentially. Well, you can feel it, right? He wants to get everything back. Well. This is pretty cool. I am the son of Al-Aqwa. Today is the day of defeat for the mean. Very cool.